Every second of your life, your heart performs one of the most important tasks in the human body. With every beat, it pushes oxygen-rich blood through a vast network of arteries and veins, delivering life-sustaining nutrients to every organ and every cell. Your brain, your lungs, your muscles, and even the smallest tissues depend on this continuous flow of oxygenated blood. But what happens when the heart suddenly stops? The moment the heart ceases to beat, one of the most complex biological systems ever evolved begins to change. The body does not shut down instantly. Instead, a series of remarkable biological processes begin to unfold, affecting the brain, the nervous system, and every organ that once relied on the steady rhythm of the heart. The heart itself is a powerful muscular pump located slightly to the left of the center of the chest. On average, it beats about 100,000 times a day. Each contraction pushes blood through the circulatory system, carrying oxygen from the lungs to the brain and the rest of the body. But when the heart stops beating, this circulation comes to an immediate halt. Within seconds, blood pressure begins to fall rapidly. Without the pumping force of the heart, oxygen-rich blood can no longer travel through the arteries. The body cells, which depend on oxygen to produce energy, suddenly find themselves cut off from their primary fuel source. One of the first organs affected by this sudden loss of circulation is the brain. The human brain is incredibly sensitive to oxygen deprivation. Although it represents only a small portion of the body's mass, it consumes nearly 20% of the body's oxygen supply. Neurons rely on a constant flow of oxygen and glucose to maintain their electrical activity. When blood flow to the brain stops, neurons begin to react almost immediately. Within about 10 seconds, a person typically loses consciousness. This happens because the brain can no longer maintain the electrical signals required to sustain awareness. Without oxygen and nutrients, the neurons responsible for consciousness begin to shut down. This sudden loss of consciousness is why people who experience cardiac arrest often collapse quickly. But even though consciousness fades, the brain itself does not immediately stop functioning. For a short period of time, electrical activity may still continue within certain brain regions. Scientists studying brain activity during cardiac arrest have discovered that the brain may briefly show bursts of unusual electrical signals. Some researchers believe this activity may represent the brain attempting to maintain communication between neurons despite the lack of oxygen. Meanwhile, throughout the rest of the body, the effects of the stopped heart continue to spread. Without circulation, oxygen levels in the blood begin to fall while carbon dioxide levels start to rise. Cells throughout the body begin shifting into emergency metabolic pathways in an attempt to generate energy without oxygen. This process is known as anaerobic metabolism. However, anaerobic metabolism is far less efficient than the normal oxygen-based processes cells use. As a result, cells begin producing lactic acid as a byproduct, which gradually makes the internal environment of tissues more acidic. This shift in chemistry can begin damaging delicate cellular structures. Inside the brain, neurons are particularly vulnerable to these changes. Without oxygen, the systems that maintain the balance of ions across neuron membranes begin to fail. Sodium and calcium ions start moving into cells uncontrollably. As calcium levels rise inside neurons, it triggers a cascade of biochemical reactions that can damage proteins, membranes, and even DNA. Within approximately 3 to 5 minutes without oxygen, many neurons begin to suffer irreversible injury. This is why rapid medical intervention during cardiac arrest is so critical. Procedures like CPR, which manually pump blood through the body, can help restore partial circulation and delay the damage caused by oxygen deprivation. While the brain struggles to maintain activity, other organs begin experiencing their own changes. The lungs, for example, are no longer receiving signals from the brainstem that regulate breathing. Breathing patterns may become irregular or stop entirely. Without oxygen entering the lungs and circulating through the bloodstream, oxygen levels throughout the body continue to decline. In the muscles, cells begin losing the energy required to maintain normal function. Muscles rely heavily on a molecule called ADP, which is produced through oxygen-based metabolism. Without oxygen, ADP production drops dramatically. As energy supplies diminish, muscles gradually lose their ability to contract effectively. However, the body does not shut down all at once. Different tissues respond to oxygen deprivation at different speeds. The brain is among the most sensitive, while other tissues can survive slightly longer without oxygen. Scientists studying cardiac arrest continue to uncover new insights about how the body responds when circulation stops. These discoveries are helping doctors develop better treatments that protect the brain and improve survival rates. Cardiopulmonary resuscitation, commonly known as CPR, is one of the most important tools used during cardiac arrest. By rhythmically compressing the chest, CPR can manually pump blood through the body and deliver small but vital amounts of oxygen to the brain. Defibrillators can also restore a normal heart rhythm by delivering controlled electrical shocks that reset the heart's electrical system. Understanding what happens inside the body when the heart stops reveals just how interconnected every organ truly is. The human body is an extraordinary system where the rhythm of the heart supports the function of every cell. Subscribe for more insights into the human body.